Hey there everybody, I'm Maya from MayaQuest, and this is my game Gladiatora. I developed this game for about 4 years straight, but then I left it because I started my Minecraft channel, which I've been working on for actually 2 years solid as of today. Now, I haven't played Gladiatora in that time or done any development, so I've got to get back into it, and I figured what a better way to do it than doing a full playthrough of the game. And that's what this channel will be dedicated to. You're going to see some playthroughs, you're going to see breakdowns of all the different aspects, because there is a lot to this game. And you'll see some development stuff too, if that's what you want. I also want to make this an open forum for fans of the game to help give me any feedback they can. I want to always improve the game to make sure the fans are having a good experience with it, and I take fan feedback very serious. I do add a lot of stuff that the fans ask for. The game can be downloaded at rpgmakerweb.com. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can find everything you need to know here on this page about it. We've got videos from other content creators, all sorts of great information. There's screenshots of the game showing a bunch of the maps and different features, and there are a lot of features in this game. This isn't a basic RPG Maker game. This is a very complex one, and it can be overwhelming at first. But with this one, it's important to just play how you want, take in as much of the game as you're interested in, and save some of the other features for later as you get more used to it. There's a lot of ways to play this game, and it has endless replay value, as you'll see. Here's a look at the settings screen. It's got a lot of the basic stuff. Plus, it's got enemy difficulty here. There's actually 2 different difficulty settings in the game. You have easy, normal, and hard, which is the base difficulty setting. Then you can change the enemy difficulty within that core setting and really fine-tune your experience. And this can be adjusted on the fly. But if, say, you're playing hard difficulty and you're finding those enemies are just too tough, well, you can turn their difficulty down some here. We have a bunch of different fonts here, so hopefully find one that you like to use, and I personally like to use the default one because it's more like a classical Roman text. There's no lowercase letters, it's all capitals. It's also important to note the default setting uses the arrow keys, so you may want to change that. If you want to use the WASD keys, you just push this button here, it switches it to WASD, finish configuration, and you're good to go. The game can also use controllers, but I don't have one attached right now, so it's not going to read it. If we go down to this visual tab, you can see there's also a skin tab here. Now with this, we can change the window skin of the game. And you'll see we can cycle through some of the basic ones that the game starts with. This is a real old one that I used to use in older development. And this is our current one. And you can actually unlock a whole bunch of new ones throughout gameplay. So in this first episode, I just want to give you guys a rundown of what this channel is about, what we're going to do, and I figure I'd go through just the intro of the game because the intro is a little bit long. I think it's about 20 minutes on average. It's got a little bit of tutorial in there and a lot of story setup. So let's go ahead and start a new game. So our first screen here is just asking us if we want to watch the intro or skip the intro. If you've already seen it, you probably just want to skip it. Now this is our Ludus. This is going to be our home base area. Gladiatora, ancient times. A new Dominus moves into his freshly purchased Ludus, with hopes of finding fortune among the booming arena city. Now the Dominus pushes his men, eager to see coin to pocket. How goes training, Doctori? They bleed too much, but I will see weakness drawn from them or bodies will be put to ground. Excellent! Put the fear of Jupiter into these slaves. Be sure they know their place. I will not have newly bought slaves cause me to look foolish within the arena. Side note everybody, I started developing this game about 7 years ago, and it's got a very clear theme of real-life gladiators in ancient Rome and all that, and I try to stick true to history. And because of that, we do deal with the subject of slaves. So if you are sensitive to that, I'm sorry, but it's going to be throughout the game because it is part of history. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's continue on. Tell me, slave, do you have issue with the way I run my Ludus? Speak up, release tongue, or see it removed. Apologies, Dominus, I would not presume to know the difficulties of running a Ludus. Surely it is a most difficult task and one you handle mightily. Mightily, you say? I like that. True, I am very mighty, yet perhaps you secretly mocked me with your words. Would you be so foolish, girl? No, Dominus, of course not. I would not dare to mock. Of course not, you say. Of course not! How dare you, foolish girl? You will pay for your insolence. Stand down, you dogs. Don't get any bright ideas. I'm surrounded by fools, it seems, and you, Ordos, I'm disappointed. A seasoned gladiator such as yourself should know one's place. The price I paid for you was high. Too high to put up with disobedience. Now what have you to say for yourself? Apologies, Dominus. I do not seek issues with you. I simply ask that you would let me see Dastara. She appears hurt. I would not see you forced to purchase new slaves. I will purchase as many slaves as I see fit and do with them as I wish. I will not let you see Dastara. In fact, I believe I will dispatch her myself. Let lesson be learned. Ordos, we need to do something. I would say you made a most grievous error in judgment, Ordos. Grievous error indeed. Guards, dispatch this filth. Okay, and now we have our first little tutorial battle, just to teach the player what kind of systems we're working with and how battles are going to go. We have to kill the enemy in the front row first. Okay, got it. So first we have melee, which is just a basic attack. We can see this is a level 1 guard and a level 1 guard, and they both have 200 HP. Now up here you can see your minimum average and maximum average hits you're going to have on the selected enemy. So you can see I'm going to do more damage to guard B over here. You can see the hit percent chance is 96% and a 6% chance to crit. I also have a 3% chance to cause bleeding and a 3% chance to cause injury. Now you'll see this guy back here. I can't hit him because he's in the back row, in a defensive row. To get to him, I have to kill off these 2 enemies or have a fighter that has the ability to hit someone in the back row. You also have personal. Personal skills are the skills of each one of your recruits. They can be different for each one. Rally Charge is a very basic move that everybody has, as well as Throw Rock. Throw Rock is a way to hit people in the back row. Now, Rally Charge is a cool attack that grows in power the longer you don't use it. You'll see this number here go up as turns pass, and it can do massive damage if you let it get high enough. You'll also see down here we have Thrakes. Now that's the class Trigon is. He's a Thrakes. Ordos is a Murmillo. You need to earn job points to buy those class skills, so you don't start out with any of those. You also have weapon skills. I'm using a sword, so I have the Sword Dance weapon skill. And I can't use it just off the bat. I have to build up some rally points first, which happens during the battle. You also can guard if you want. That'll put you in a defensive position. And then we have equipment. You can change your equipment in the match if you need to. There can be a lot of scenarios where you get yourself into trouble with the wrong weapon and you need to switch to do more damage. So that gives you that option. So let's go ahead and take out these guards. Almost finished them off with 1 hit. That would have been nice. Okay, right here Ordos is telling Trigon that it's too dangerous for him to be in the front row because he's not as skilled as Ordos is. So he's ordering him to get in the back row. You can help from the dynamic row, which is the back row. To change rows, press the cancel button, and then he tells you just how to switch the rows here. But he's going to move us automatically, so we don't have to worry about it this time. All right, let's go ahead and take out this next guard so we can get to the back one. Nice, and 1 more to go. Make light work of them and move on. You did well, but the Dominus and Doctoria will be much more challenging. Prepare yourself. Our battle is not yet finished. Thank you, Ordos. I will do my best. We die here today or we both see new free life. Let us be free. And now we fight for our freedom against Dominus and Doctori. Those slaves cost me good money. I will take payment out on your hide, slaves. You should have stayed in line. You will pay dearly for acting as a fool. And that hurt. But now it's time to get a little revenge on this jerk. Yep, that felt good. Now, the Doctori, on the other hand, is a bit more skilled. He is a bit of a problem. We're not going to be able to kill him, unfortunately. But we can bruise him up along the way, so let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. The goal of this match is for him to take out Ordos. And now Trigon is not happy on what he did, so he goes into rage mode, kills the Doctori, and we get another victory. Trigon even got a level up for his skilled work. Ordos! Ordos, can you hear me? No, no, no! Okay. Ordos, thank the gods you're still alive. Star is still out cold. I'm gonna need some help here. Thex! Oh, Thex, you don't look so good. Let me free you from this stockade. Ordos and Star are in need of our help. Thank you, my friend. I'd feared I would rot in this foul device. I think Ordos is hurt badly. Blood spills from a deep wound on his leg. We may be too late to help. This way, hurry. Right behind you, Trigon. You did not deceive. Poor Ordos looks to be not long for this life. Thex, I need you to take him to the Medicus. You're strong enough to carry him. I would have much difficulty. I'll tend to Stara and then see if I can't free good Brandis from his cell. It will be done, Trigon. I'll get him to the Medicus. Wait. Here, Dominus had some denarii. Take it to pay the Medicus. Ah yes, quick thinking. You may have just saved old Ordos. Stara, wake up! Stara, can you hear me? Huh? What happened? By the gods, Dominus! He knocked you out cold. He was about to kill you when Ordos intervened, but Ordos was seriously injured. Thex now rushes him to the Medicus. Oh no, poor Ordos! If he was injured so terribly, how did you kill them? I was overcome when I saw Ordos fall. Something came out of me. I struck out free from thought. I see well. Thank you for saving me, Trigon. It was Ordos who displayed bravery. I just followed suit. Still, I would be dead right now if not for you. Please think nothing of it. Now, how about we go see if we can free Brandis from his cell, shall we? A fine choice. Let's. Well, hello there, Brandis. How does this cell treat you? What are my eyes showing me? You two will be punished if the Dominus finds you unattended. What seizes mind? Unfortunately, Dominus has become too irrational and had to be put down. Truly, and what of Doctori? It turns out Doctori was just as mad as our Dominus. Sadly, he suffers the same fate. I have much to tell you. Let us tear down these cell doors while I share stories. Time changes for us, and I see great opportunity ahead. Several days later. Well, I'm for Trigon's plan. I think he's right. Besides, what would have we to lose? Our newly found freedom, or how about our heads? There is great risk in staying here. Yes, but also great reward. You've been strangely quiet, Brandis. Where do your thoughts lie? Well, I do not wish to take this chance at freedom lightly. I would like to make something of this opportunity. I believe, as foolish as Trigon's idea may be, that it is still an enticing offer. Perhaps making something out of this new life does mean fortune and fame. See, Brandis is of like mind, but Thex, you are part of this. We stick together, whatever you decide. I just hope you can see what rare opportunity we have been presented with. Here comes someone who can perhaps talk sense among foolish chatter. Tell me, what are your thoughts? I think the gods forsake us. Surely they must to have taken my leg. What act so terrible have I committed to draw the anger of Jupiter himself? You can see here he's only got one leg and a cane now. I would say, if I were a whole man and free as those of you, I would fight. If the arena be where the fight took me, then there it shall be. I would dominate my opponent and gain unrivaled fortune and fame. You may not be a whole man, but you are as free as us. Your word has just as much weight as any of ours. And I'd bet you're still more ferocious than any, my friend. Kind words mean very little to me at the moment. I do try to seal such bad thoughts away, yet I find myself wanting for a second leg. Did you catch that? Hidden within those words? Ordos just agreed with Trigon, my friends. Yes, I heard him. I admit, I've grown to love the thrill of the arena and earning fame upon its sands. Still, what a better place than this, Thex? We're not known here. The Ludus sits empty. If we leave, let us seize opportunity. You're as persuasive as ever, Stara, but if we're found out, we will not be made slaves. No, this time we would be put to death for our crimes. Is there not risk in any path we take? None among us would choose slavery over death. We cannot go back to that life. If we're careful, we can find others, people we can save from their masters. We can build a free Ludus here, build it and watch it grow. We've already undertaken so much training. Why not put it to use? Strong words, Trigon. You will make a perfect Dominus, I do think. Dominus, not me. We do not need a Dominus. No, Ordos is right. If this plan of yours is to work, we must keep up appearances and look like a regular Ludus. We will need a Dominus to do so. Who better than you? A Dominus and a Doctori. What say you, Thex? You would make an imposing Doctori, to be sure. Doctori? No. I'm no Doctori. I enjoy being trained, but do not know the first thing about training others. If we were to bring in new recruits, they will need a real Doctori. And I know of only one person to fill those shoes. A true legend himself. Ordos, you must be our Doctori. You speak as a fool. How can I train others short a leg? That leg will just make you honorier. You could still teach others. Thex speaks the truth. There would be no better Doctori. Then it's settled. Doctori, Ordos, and Dominus Trigon. We cannot fail. Perhaps. I guess we shall see, won't we? Very well then, so be it. Do not forget, however, a strong Dominus needs a strong Domina by his side. Stara, if only for appearances, of course. We are decided. Let us sleep well this night and begin a new day with new life. I am honored to share this journey with you, my friends. Take a moment to set up some options before beginning the game. And here we have a bit of an option screen. First, we start off with our difficulty setting. As you can see, we have easy, normal, and hard. Let's keep it on normal. Permadeath, on or off. I'm going to keep it off. That's a pretty self-explanatory one. Once your character dies, he's dead for good if it's on. We also have over here perma-lock, but you have to unlock that on a New Game Plus mode. And that locks it to permadeath mode. Normally, you can switch off permadeath mode if things are going too poorly and you're tired of permadeath. But with that on, you cannot. Then we also have perma injury you can turn on or off. This adds injuries to the game that become permanent, and after a recruit gets 5 of those injuries, they can't continue, they have to retire. Early Orator on or off. This gives us the Orator class early in the game if we want it. It's a really cool, unique class, and it can be hard to come across. You might not even find it in a playthrough. And rather than missing out completely, this gives you the option of turning it on from the get-go. Then we have followers on or off. This is a visual option in the game. It just makes it so when you walk around, your followers are either trailing you or they're not. We also have info here that will tell us everything all of these do. And we have testing mode on or off. What testing mode does is it opens up a special testing zone. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that on just so I can show you guys at some point what I see in the testing mode normally. And might as well begin. Begin the game. Yep, let's do it. It tells us saving can be done manually from the main menu. The game will also auto-save when coming and going from the Ludus and in certain other situations. Don't forget the autosave file will be saved to the first save slot. And there we go. This is our new Ludus. We got the Doctori here, and we're ready to start our new adventure. You can see we've got our 4 main characters. We've got Trigon, Stara, Brandis, and Thex. Here's their classes. They're Thrakes, Pugilist, Retiarii, and Murmillo. And they have their sword, glove, spear, and sword, their weapon proficiency that they're currently going to learn. So if Trigon's using a sword in battle, when this says sword here, he'll be gaining sword job points. However, if he's using a different weapon that's not a sword, he won't be gaining any job points. You can switch what weapon, though, is your weapon proficiency you're focusing on. Equip, very important. You can equip your characters here. You can do it manually, or you can do a quick equip and give them what the game decides should be their best gear, but it might not always be what you're looking for. You can also upgrade your gear, but you got to have the right stuff to do it. But if you go to upgrade gear, you can rename it if you want, and you can attach augments to it. But I don't have any augments to attach just yet, so can't do that yet either. But different items, different weapons, different armors, they'll have different slots. So if you get an augment and it's not working on a certain piece of gear, maybe try it on a different type of gear. Next, styles. Styles are our classes. We see Stara, she's a pugilist, and yep, there she is, pugilist right there. We can change styles here. You start out with Thrakes, Murmillo, Retiarii, Daimakari, and pugilist, and also orator if you turned that option on. And then down here, these are our weapon proficiencies. Now, if you want to change your class, you do it through style. I could go to Retiarii, I could go to Daimakari. You can see the equipment gets automatically optimized to your new class. And if I want to change my weapon style, I go here and just pick which weapon style I want. But I want Stara to be a pugilist because she is a dang good pugilist. So I'm going to put her back. Next, status. We can take a look at the status of each player. One thing to note, you'll see special ability up here. Every recruit has their own unique special ability, which really comes into play when you're customizing your characters, your builds, and your bonds, which is very important. Now, Trigon has a special ability of a 20% counterattack. That's pretty strong. And you can chain counterattacks in this game, so you can have multiple counterattacks. Now, if we go down to rates, here we can see his rates. Now, this is a complicated game, as I said. There is a lot of intricacies to this. And here you can see we have the hit rate, evasion rate, critical hit rate, all sorts of stuff. Your block chance, your block amount. This is how much you block if you block something. 100% is great, but blocking amount has to do with what size shield you use. There's bucklers, which block 25%, normal shields, which block 50%, and pretty much a tower shield, which blocks 100% of the damage, but it's got to block it first, so it has to pass that block chance check. Aggro rate's an important one, just like in a lot of MMOs, whoever has the highest aggro will be getting the main attacks from the enemy. So you can use that stat to create a nice tank for your crew. Now, if we go down to resists, these are the resists that are currently in the game. Now, 100% means it's doing standard damage. So against Thrakes, Murmillo, Pugilist, normal damage applies. But you can see down here against a Provocator, it does 125% damage. So he's weak against a Provocator. And if we go down further, you can see Sagittari has a 75%. So he's stronger against a Sagittari. Therefore, Murmillos are good to use against Sagittaris. Gloves, you can see, do more damage to them. Whips do less damage. Swords do less damage. Spears do less damage. Hammers do more damage. And this has a lot to do with what gear you're wearing. Different gear will change these amounts. And then states, these are not all of the states by any means, but these are a lot more of the common ones and ones that can be affected in some way, possibly. Bleeding is a very common state and a very powerful state. It's that poisoned kind of state where you'll take damage over time. So you'd like to get this down as much as you can. And then we see path here. This is our general stats of the game. Our LR is 100. This is a very important stat. This is our Ludus reputation. If it goes to 0, it's a game over for us. The higher it gets, the more we get to do within the game. So ideally you want to keep it up, but you can technically be a bit of an evil player in this game and juggle it. Next we have DP, which is Doctori points. Our Doctori, Ordos, earns points every day. And these points can be used for all sorts of training upgrades or Ludus upgrades, all sorts of stuff. So this is a really important secondary currency in the game for upgrading pretty much anything. Explorer points, that's another big one. Exploring around, searching anything you can search, everything will add to your Explorer points. And as you reach certain Explorer point milestones, you'll unlock certain rewards, some of which are the different window skins I talked about earlier. Ludus beds, that's an important one. Your Ludus, your home base, can only hold as many recruits as you have beds for them. So you start out with 10 beds, you have 10 recruits, you're fine. You try to recruit 11th, they won't join you until you get more beds. And you get those by spending Doctori points with your Doctori. Now, weapon rates. This is a big one. Vex here does plus 10% damage when he's using a glove. And he's got plus 25% damage when using a hammer or a sword. But you can see an instrument, he's got a -5. He's not very musically inclined, so he does less damage with an instrument. And as you can see, this changes with different people. Here, Brannis, he's got a 10% boost to swords. And he's got a 25% boost to whips and nets. And since he has this net boost, that makes him a good ready Arya. And then down here we have rows. This is the rows. We got the dynamic row in the back here and the main row up here in the front. And if you remember, Doctori put Trigon in the dynamic row. He's not a dynamic row guy right now. He's a Thrake. So let's put him up here. But you know who is dynamic row? Brannis, because he's a ready Arya. So let's throw him in the back row. Now we got a good setup for our team. Bonds, that's an important one. As you use a character, your bond level will grow. And it's different for each character. You can see they don't have any experience yet, but Trigon does because we used them a little bit. Now, as they gain bond levels, their stats can go up depending on what choices you make for them. But you also gain their bond, which is an important item. Now, a character's bond is their special ability. So once Brannis reaches the first bond level, you'll get his bond item. And that item will be the special ability of 15% crit rate and 15% crit evade rate. Now, once you have that bond, you can go into your equipment and select someone and equip the bond to him. And with all the very unique bonds in the game, you can make some pretty interesting builds and powerful builds with the right bonds. So there's quite a lot to unpack with that system. And then we have tinkering. This is our crafting, and this is our first time tinkering, so it's going to give us some basics about it. As you tinker, you will gain experience in tinkering. When you level in a trade skill, you will be granted access to the next tier of recipes. So here we go. This is our tinkering window. And things we can craft here. First, materials. These are a lot of the basic materials we need to craft a lot of other things. And we have medical. And they wanted us to craft a battle dressing, but we don't have the stuff to make that just yet. We have to go find that. Next on the list is info. Here's where you should be able to find info on pretty much anything in the game that you have interest in. Then we have recruits. This window keeps track of the recruits we've unlocked. These are all of our current recruits, and you can see we've only got the 4 at the top. And it gives us a little bit of info about them, and if we haven't unlocked them, it gives us a little bit of a hint. Toiling away for the magistrate. Okay, so this person's probably working for the magistrate. And then we have achievements. There's a lot of achievements, currently 5 pages of them, and definitely more to come. And when you unlock an achievement, it'll show up in this window. Terminology, there's a lot of weird words in this game that you probably never heard of before. So this will give you a breakdown of what those words are and how they're pronounced. And preferences, these are different types of settings. These are settings that are specific to this playthrough. So we can do things like hide the followers if we decided we don't want them to all show up. We can have a lag meter pop up, which shows our FPS. We can turn permadeath on or off as long as it's not locked. And that's going to be it for this first episode. It's a lot of talk in this one, a lot of the basics, and a lot of just what we're doing here. So I'm excited to be getting back into development of this game, and I can't wait to get some updates rolling out. Be on the lookout for more videos about Gladiatora coming soon, as well as future updates. Also, if you're a fan of Minecraft, my main channel is a Minecraft channel. It's Maya Quests. So check me out. I'll have a link to that in the description if you want to check it out. And thanks for watching. I'll see everybody in the next one. Later.